he had just robbed a bank. He sees us and he slams the trunks shut. So I'm running back to the car and I hear
Welcome to the last rant. One of the many things I like to do on this show is talk to ex-police officers or people that may have been arrested before and just hear a unique story, something different, something that may have happened to them, or basically like the biggest event of their career. And I'm here today with Humphreys, who used to be a police officer in America, and he's got a very interesting story. What's up, guys? It's Greeny, and welcome to the last rant. If you have a story that you'd like to share, whether it's being arrested or making an arrest, or as a police officer, or as somebody that may have been maybe unjustifiably accused of something, or anything related to law enforcement, let me know. Shoot me an email and I can get you on here and you can tell your story. Looking for interesting stories. All right, Humphreys.
So I worked for Samuel for about 3 years as what we call a tribal officer.
Right.
And I was both bike patrol, riding a bike, and also in a car, which was pretty interesting. This this shootout was actually before I worked for the Indian reservation. It's actually interesting because I was a police explorer and I was in a shootout on a ride-along, which
Holy cow.
which generally doesn't happen.
No, well,
You
it can.
For your department, I'm sure you guys
We had
have police
explorers, we had
explorers.
reserves, yeah, kids in high school.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
old were you then?
So I was 20 years old, and it happened near San Diego. So it actually happened in the area of Escondido, which is about 45 minutes north of San Diego.
So you probably weren't armed at this time, and you're just
No.
riding along.
I had a flashlight. That was it.
Okay, well,
I had
let's
a
get into
flashlight.
it. Start the day. What happened that day?
And they're like, oh, we have an explorer. Who wants to take him? And a little bit of silence because not all officers like explorers.
Right.
Sometimes we're seen as extra baggage because, we don't have a gun. But one officer, turned out he really liked kids. He really liked the explorers. He's a canine officer. That would be important.
Okay.
So we had a dog, and he's like, oh, I'll take him. Okay, cool. So typical thing for ride-alongs is like, okay, I'll get my stuff ready. You prep the car. You get the car ready. You get the shotgun. You check out the radio. Check out the shotgun. You make sure the shotgun's it's loaded and everything. You clean up the car. You check the car to see if anything's been left from the shift before. You probably know all this stuff.
Yeah. Check the back seat. Make sure there's no. Yep.
And so we get out, and we have a dog in the back, a canine called Maury, and we start driving around. And for San Diego, we started looking for illegal aliens. We kind of helped out a little bit with ICE.
Now, what year was this?
This was 1995, September '95. And also the first thing as CHP, when you start your shift, you do initial patrol of your freeway section.
Okay.
So you go up and down, you just make sure there's no cars on the right side that are parked there with people in them. If there's no people, you tag the car. So there's a thing you write.
Abandoned car.
If you don't get
Sticker.
to this car in 4 hours, we tow it and stuff
Right.
like that. And then you just to make sure like nothing's happening on your freeways, and then you start hunting for stuff. You look for stuff.
Right.
And so
Start some proactive patrol.
One of the things we did is you hit up the gas stations. So you go to the gas stations. Is anyone parked here? Are there any pickup trucks with tarps over them? Because you lift up the tarp and there'd be like 4 illegal aliens, and then you call ICE. So we do this for about 3 hours, and then we're on the freeway, and this freeway is elevated. So there's normal roads down here. Right? So I look over, and I see a car parked on the side of the road down, like down here. And I was like, oh, there's a car down there. He's kind of parked on the side of the road. And the officer said, Officer Steve Usher, he said, oh, a lot of times like salespeople, they'll do their drugs or they'll do their crack or whatever on the side of the road because it's a long drive. They try to stay awake.
Right. Okay.
So okay, well, let's check it out. Cool. So we do a U-turn, we go down, and he's kind of parked crooked, backed into like a little alleyway-ish thing. Now, unknowns to us, he had just robbed a bank.
Oh.
He just robbed a bank. Also, he was on the FBI most wanted list for robbing banks.
Holy cow.
The FBI gave him a nickname. It's kind of like the guy next door robber or something like that, because every time he robbed a bank, he wore a dress shirt. So he's dressed like going to work.
Wow.
Also, a white guy, which is, yeah. So we don't know this at all.
Right.
We park, kind of a normal tactic is you don't like drive right up to it. You park a little bit back and we walk up. Another thing with the CHP is at that time, I don't think they still do it now, but you don't call out the plates when you stop a car. It's probably a little weird. But
Yeah.
because we stopped so many cars, also back then, the computer system had just came out.
Right.
So I think most departments now, you call out the car when you stop them.
Right.
But back then, it was like...
We could do that, or in our car, I know we could just hit traffic stop and put the plate in.
Yeah.
And then but then dispatch has it, but the other officers in the area don't know what you're doing.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So back then we didn't do it, but what I did is kind of my tactic is whenever we stop a car, I had like a little pad of paper and I'd write down the license plate, or somewhere in the car you write it down just in case something really bad happens, they can get back to the car
Right.
and find out. But because it had parked in the alleyway, we couldn't see the plate anyway, so we didn't know.
Okay.
So I go walking up to the car. He was at the back of the car, and as soon as he saw us, the trunk was up. So as he's looking over the trunk, and we round the corner, he sees us, and he slams the trunk shut. And he's like, oh, hey, hey, how's it going? What's going on? What he was doing is he was cold plating the car. He was changing out the plates
Okay.
because he just robbed a bank in that car. And of course, the license plate was probably called out.
Right.
So he had an extra set of plates to switch out. So cold plating.
Now, there was nothing put out over the radio about an armed robbery just occurred, or that was an LAPD and it doesn't go to
So San Diego, it would have been like the San Diego area. So then he drove out.
Okay.
So a call probably would have gone out, but we didn't know about it, or he might have just done
Right.
it.
And this is close to the beginning of the shift, too, right?
We're, I would say, in the middle of the shift.
Okay.
In the middle, it's just starting to get like a little bit dark.
Okay.
So 5:30ish, something like that. And so he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And the officer is in front of me. I'm behind the officer. And the officer said, "Okay, well, how's it going? License and registration, why you parked here, et cetera, et cetera." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I got the stuff in the driver's seat." Cool. So he sits down in the driver's seat, starts fumbling around. And he's like, "Oh, this is a rental car." Okay, no big deal. Rental contract, right? License and rental contract. Okay. So license, he starts fumbling for the rental contract. He turns the car on. Turns the car on. Officer's like, turn the car off. Don't turn your car on. Turn your car off. Turns the car off. Starts fumbling around. Oh, I need to get something. I need to get something. Turns the car on again. It's like, and then at this point I'm like, oh, this is kind of strange. Like, I've never had that happen before. But I guess the bad thing was there were no alarm bells in my head just yet. There was no like, oh shit,
Right.
like something's about to go down, which is probably a bad thing. But turns the car off again, and then a couple seconds, third time, turns the
He's
car on.
just hinky as hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
turns the car on. The officer reaches in, grabs the keys. Just boom, grabs the keys. As soon as he grabs the keys, the car door opens. I was like, oh fuck, here we go, right? And the car door opens, he jumps out. He punches the officer in the chest. Just bam, right? and officer has a vest on, so he's got the Kevlar. And so back then, you wore the plate in the middle.
Right.
So that's the trauma plate.
Yeah.
And back, unlike now, back then it was steel. So it's funny because I remember when he punched it, I heard like a ding, like a, you know, because he kind of busted his hand.
Right.
You know, because he hit
strike
right
plate.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the strike plate. I think now the strike plate is probably
More
soft.
Kevlar.
Yeah.
Well, it's thinner probably. Maybe it was
Yeah.
everything got lighter
and
as
thinner,
time.
yeah.
You know, they got better materials to, you know,
Yeah.
withstand the bullet, but be lighter for an officer to wear.
Yep.
But yeah, they were heavy back then.
Yeah, so he punched the officer like right in the center of the chest, and it just, oh, you know, what's going on? And then I was like, okay, now we're fighting. So I'm trying to figure out like what to do, because the officer like he's basically in the way of the suspect. But then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking if something happens, I run back to the car and I call it out. Like that's kind of like the extent of what I can do. It's like, also I have a flashlight. Do I like start bashing him in the head?
Now, was it a big metal Kel light
It's
back
the Maglite.
then? Yeah, Maglite. Kel light,
Maglite
yep.
6D
Oh,
or 4D.
okay.
One, it's like
Big
humongous
one, yeah.
sucker. So after he punches him, then he gets a knife. He's got a Spyderco flip-out knife.
The bad guy?
The bad guy.
Okay.
So he goes to stab him, and then the officer, he's got his flashlight. In a reflex action, like afterwards the officer said he never even saw the knife, but he just saw that, you know, like he's about to do something, so he just swung, and luck, like absolute luck, hit the hand, knocked the knife, and the knife flew in the air, landed at my feet, like literally, like almost right between my feet. And I looked down, and stupid me, well, maybe not, but I was like, oh, that's a nice, I'm thinking, that's a nice knife, that's a Spyderco knife. I pick it up, and I threw it in the bushes, just to like get it out of here, right? And then the guy runs around the back of the car, to get to the passenger side. The officer runs around the front of the car to like intercept, right? Now, if you know anything about cars, when you open the car door, who's going to win that race? Because
guy behind.
when the car door opens, if you're running from the front of the car,
Right, you're blocked.
you're going to get blocked. So the guy's like yelling, I need to get something, I need to get something. He gets to the passenger side, opens the door, grabs something, and I hear the officer say, run. Like just shout out, run. I was like, oh, I'm just kind of standing there going, well, why? Why should I? I'm like, okay, something bad is about to happen. And I see like something silver come up, and then bang, 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 bang. Well, I start running, the officer starts running. So we run in different directions. The officer runs north, I run back to the car. It just seemed like the right, they asked me later when we went through the whole like shooting, the detectives, when they pull you in to interview, they asked me, why did you run south? You know, why didn't you run with the officer instead of away? And I was like, it seemed tactically the right thing to do, because if we ran together, he would have shot us both. Like that's kind of, and plus going back to the car, I could get to the radio, I could get to the dog and stuff like that. But really, I wasn't thinking at all. But it worked out. So the officer runs, and while he's running, he gets shot twice.
Holy shit.
Initially, he gets shot, when he crouched down, he got shot in the, like between the, you know, where your vest comes up, there's a gap here.
Yeah. Your
So he
shoulder.
got shot here, and then it goes out, it went out his, went through his lung and went out the back. And then as he was running, he got shot in the butt.
In where?
At the butt.
The butt.
Yeah,
Okay.
buttocks. Right? And then he fell into the street. After the officer fell into the street, the bad guy turned, and he's like, "Oh," he didn't realize I was Explorer, because we all look.
Yeah,
cop,
to him,
right?
you're all the same.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I've shot that guy. We're gonna shoot this guy, right? So I'm running back to the car and I hear, he's like, oh, he's
Bullets?
shooting? Yeah. I was like, oh, he's shooting at
You
me.
just heard the wind, or did you hear the boom,
like,
boom?
I heard
too?
boom, 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 and then
So you could hear like bullets whizzing past
yeah,
your
yeah.
head.
And so
Holy
they taught us in the Explorer Academy, zigzag. Don't run straight, run zigzag. So I start doing the whole zigzag thing back to the car.
Dude, you must have been shitting your pants right now.
Well,
or it was just all so fast
It
that you
was.
just didn't.
I wasn't like the weirdest thing. I'm sure I was scared, but I didn't feel scared.
Right. Well, it's just in the moment. You're
Yeah.
just okay. So continue.
Because everything was, in my mind, everything was get back to the car, get the shotgun, take care of it, type of thing.
Okay.
So the officer is bleeding, lying down in the street, in the middle of the street, and he's facing the bad guy and me, and he sees that he's shooting at me. So the officer comes up. It was back then it was a Smith & Wesson 40 cal, and just unloads at the bad guy. Empties his gun, reloads, empties all of his mags, like empties everything into the guy, right? Swiss cheeses the car, hits the guy a couple times, just like unloads everything. And
It wasn't any type of crossfire where, the guy where he's shooting at him, where the officer's bullets came towards
so
you
it was
too, or no?
the angle of it was safe, like
Okay, so it was like
the
he's
backdrop.
shooting this way and you're this way or something. So, okay.
It worked out. The backdrop was the bad guy's car, which we don't care about,
Right.
and like dirt. So it was a good backdrop for him, and there were two bicyclists. So this road was a favorite of people like to do their bicycle rides.
Right.
So while the officer's laying in the street, these two bicyclists rode up. Like and they hear all this gunfire, and they see this whole thing happening.
Oh wow.
Which is they told us they were good witnesses afterwards.
Yeah.
So the bad guy gets shot twice. Once I think up here, and then once down in the lower leg. One of the shots happened when he was shooting at me. He had a Ruger P95, 9mm. So he's shooting, the slide comes back, he gets hit. So it was at the right time where it made his gun jam, because I guess the slide was maybe trying to come back. He gets hit, it jerks, and then now it's stuck, like
Right.
it stovepiped a cartridge
Right.
or something.
Right.
And so the guy realizes that, okay, my gun doesn't work anymore. I'm gonna get in the car and drive away. Well, stupid idiot, who has the keys? The officer has the keys.
Right.
So no one could figure out later, well, wait a second, the officer has the keys in his hand, yet was still able to shoot and empty all the mags. No one could figure that out.
Right.
And even I think the Officer Usher didn't remember, oh, I still have the keys. So it's really crazy. In a shootout, you forget, crazy stuff happens in a shootout.
Right.
So I get back to the car, and I'm my goal was cause as much trouble for the bad guy as possible, right? Chaos, throw everything in the way, just make his life miserable. So I'm well, we have a dog. Get the fucking dog out, right?
Right.
So I released the dog, and the dog goes up, and I was expecting the dog to go to the right to get the bad guy, but what does the dog do?
Go to his master.
Goes to the master, who's lying in the road bleeding. So the dog runs up, starts licking his face.
Oh my god.
And I was oh, come on. Then I get in the car, I call it out. I call out, 1199, officer down, where we are, Champaign, Deer Springs. We were in a valley, so the call barely got out. Dispatch could barely hear us. And we found out later from dispatch when they interviewed her, she was crying because she knew something bad was happening, but she couldn't help. It was tough, right? Really bad. like traumatized for her. And so then I was like, okay, we're gonna get the gun. I'm getting the shotgun and I'm going up. Which as an explorer is like that's an extreme thing, right?
Right, but this was pretty extreme circumstance.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get the shotgun out, and there's
the button to press.
yeah, there's so in the CHP car we've got this thing on the dash. It's got a whole bunch of colored buttons, and there's a combo you press to get the shotgun out.
Oh.
So I'm pushing the 2 keys, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't hear the click. I don't like it's not
the release.
It's not clicking. And then I hit it again, and then I'm thinking, maybe I'm hitting it too fast. Because if I hit it too fast, maybe I'm canceling it out or something. So I'm like, slow myself down. Boom, boom. It still doesn't come out. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, okay. Now there's a backup button somewhere else in the car. It's a secret. So I'm hitting that. I'm trying to hit that button. There's no button. Like I'm expecting a button to be there. It's not there. I'm like, okay, this sucks. And then I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna put the car in drive. I'm gonna run him over. I'm like, yeah, okay, that seems like a good idea. So I'm trying to put the car in park or in drive to, like, I'm gonna gun it and at least put the car between him and the bad guy. You know, block him, right? And just as I'm about to do that, San Diego Sheriff's Department, they were going on the freeway. They heard the gunshots. And so it was 2 cars. I think they're going like end of watch. Right? So they're going back to their home station. So 2 separate cars. They come down from the freeway. And I look in the back, as I'm trying to put the car in drive, I look in the rear view mirror. Two cars come up. I'm like, fucking A, yeah. Also about the switches, this was like one of the only cars in the CHP fleet that had the switches disconnected for the shotgun. Also, the electrical system was different than the normal car because it's a K9 car. So because it was a K9 car, certain things don't work the same because I guess if you had the switch, the dog might hit the switch. I guess. So yeah, they told me later, like, oh, by the way, you were kind of fucked in that situation. It's like, oh, okay. Might have been a good thing to talk in like briefing, but
right.
So the sheriffs come, San Diego sheriffs, you're awesome. They come up, and I run up to the first deputy. Officer down, white male, he has a gun, just really short, just like. This is what's happening. Officer's down. He's up there. Bad guy. He's got a gun. They're like, okay. He gets his shotgun out, which is like a sawed-off, like short barrel shotgun. He's like, take it. I was like, fuck. Like this is better than my. He's like, oh, it's better than CHP shotgun. And he's like, okay, we're gonna go up and we're gonna take him. And as we're talking, the second deputy behind us did a Leroy Jenkins, and he like went around all of us and put his car in between. Like he just like got in between everything. And this is while we're talking. And we're like, well shit, I guess we have to run up. Like no plan, just go, right? And so we go running up. We find the bad guy in the driver's seat, trying to start his car like an idiot without the keys. The dog finally figured it out and came to us. And deputies are trying to pull him out of the car, get him on the ground. The dog comes up, we step back, we're like, bite him, bite him, bite him. And the dog just kind of goes, oh, like, what do you want me to do? And then we're like, what? How come it's not biting him? So we go back to just put your hands behind your back.
So he's resisting, he's fighting. Now, this is after they dragged him out of the car?
Yeah. So we dragged him out, threw him on the ground.
And he's shot, but he's still
Yeah, he's shot, he's still fighting. Oh. And then while we're fighting him, then the dog comes in and bites him. And so we're like, oh, cool, the dog's biting now. So then we step back, we're like, bite him, bite him, bite him. The dog steps back. And this happens like a couple times. And we're like, we finally figure out that I guess the dog doesn't take commands from other people.
He had no.
So, but the dog, Maury understood uniforms, so he understands like when
Who the good guy and who the
yeah.
bad guy is.
So
Okay.
he's trying to help us out, but he doesn't take commands, so it's kind of funny. But eventually, like we handcuff him, and I'll never forget this. But when you call officer down, everyone comes.
Oh yeah.
Like
Every department in the area, everybody.
I never knew what some of these departments were. Like I was like, what the hell is that? Like there's postal police came, school police, railroad, like everyone came. Like my God, the whole
Absolutely,
street was full. And so then we run up to Officer Usher, take care of him. He had like a sucking chest wound. The only thing he was saying is everyone safe? Is he dead? Like is he down? Right? Are you okay? So that was exactly what you would expect a great officer to. He's not thinking about himself. He's
Right.
like, is the dog okay? Are you okay? Is the bad guy down? Yeah, we're taking care of it. So I'm walking around the scene with a shotgun, loaded. Right? It's like off safety, right? Like I have a death grip on this shotgun. I forgot, like I didn't realize it. And so San Diego Sheriff's deputy walked up to me. It's like, oh hey, are you all right? Can we
Give me that gun back.
And she was like grabbing the shotgun, and they told me later, like, you wouldn't let go of the shotgun. I was like, I don't remember this.
You were in semi-shock, I'm
Yeah.
sure, at that point.
So, sure. And then she got like a Pepsi and some donut, like the mini donuts.
Yeah.
It's like, here, take this, and I'll trade you for that shotgun. And like I let go of the shotgun, and they're like, oh, Humphrey, you sit down. And I was like, I really don't want to sit down. And but I sat down somewhere. And ambulance comes, and they get him by helicopter. The officer goes by helicopter. The bad guy went by slow ambulance, no lights, to the hospital. And then they were talking to me on the side road. And then they said, detectives are going to need the San Diego County detectives shooting. After every shooting, you do this whole thing, right? They're going to need to interview you. Okay, that's fine. CHP, the brass comes, like, oh shit, we just got into Shootout Explorers, and it's actually kind of a big thing.
Oh yeah, officer-involved shooting. So all right, let me ask you, because we got to get this wrapped up here.
Yep.
Did so the officer and the bad guy both lived?
So the aftermath, bad guy, convicted, life in prison.
Okay. And like you said, he had he was a robbery, now a shooting.
So
now
it turned
everything.
out they went through the history, right?
Yeah.
Convicted murder, out of Arizona.
How was he out?
That's a good question, right? So in Arizona, he took a test drive, used car, right? Test drive used car.
Yeah.
During the test drive, executed the guy, the employee, on
Yeah.
the side of the road. They got him on that, and during the trial, some fuck up happened, and apparently he was paroled, later. So he went to
Some
prison.
liberal judge got his hands on him.
Yeah. So actually, I think it turned out to be like the prosecutor fucked up. He promised him
Okay.
something. But yeah, and then when he got out, he started robbing banks, like in between.
Wow.
But life in prison, every couple of years there's a parole hearing, and we attend it and we say no,
Right.
like never.
Did it actually go to a trial, or he took a plea?
He took a plea.
Okay.
Like because there are witnesses, like there's me, like it was.
Yeah.
There
So
was
what
no-
about the officer? How did he end up?
So the officer, of course, a couple days in the hospital, didn't spend too long in the hospital, then went back home to recover, made a full recovery, went back working, retired, and now is, still around.
Okay, good.
Later after.
And then after this incident, you still went into police work.
Yes.
This didn't deter you?
Yes.
Did this make you think, like, oh, is this the right decision? Like, what were your thoughts after this incident?
So the
about?
direct aftermath of that is I was one of the only explorers in CHP history to get the commendation of valor. So it's not a, I guess we couldn't really get a medal of valor because I wasn't an officer.
Right.
So he gave me his commendation of valor. That was pretty cool because he'd never given it to an explorer before.
Yeah.
Because I guess an explorer had never really gotten into a shootout before.
Right.
But then when I went back to the station, my home station in Torrance, everyone had heard I'd gotten to a shootout, and it was like, oh, it's kind of rare for an explorer to get into a shootout, so.
All right, Humphrey. Well, I know you have a couple other interesting stories. Maybe we'll get to those later and continue your career when I see you again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, appreciate it. Hopefully you guys find this interesting. Like I said, if you got a good story, if you were the suit and tie bank robber and you want to tell your side of the story, or you get arrested or something happened, or you have an interesting police story, let me know. Put it out there. Email in the description. Greenie out.